everyone, and welcome to the Wholesale.fm podcast. We are the original voice of wholesale. I'm your host, Kevin Gallagher, and joining me on the broadcast today is Tom Lindeman, who is the owner of CannaSafety. He's the maker of a great new product called Cannaleaf. Tom, give us a little bit about your background and, about yourself and how this product came about. Let's start there for the buyers that are listening, and we'll branch off.
Sure thing. Thanks, Kevin, and thank you for having me on. First of all, I'm one of those people that sort of fell in love with cannabis immediately, and I knew that it would be an ally, for the rest of my life. It's sort of a healing, magical thing for me. It expands consciousness, laser focus. My wife and I sometimes call it brain spark because of how we use it. However, I've also had acute fibromyalgia for over 25 years, a long time before they even, had a name for it. And of all the things that I've tried, I've become a nightly cannabis oil user. And, as many people know, it's hard to properly use these very strong concentrates and edibles that have come out. And you're shooting for a little drop of oil that's half as big as a grain of rice.
Wow.
And I kept getting into trouble by taking too much, even though I know what I'm doing, and I get really sick. But yeah, that's why I invented Cannaleaf, and that's sort of the flagship product of CannaSafety.
Now, that gives us a good background about Cannaleaf. What else would you like to add about the product?
Well, I've been working on the formula for about a year and a half. Filed the patent on it a little over a year ago for the formula, the usage, and everything. So, we've got some protection, we've got trademarks, etc. We also have a chief scientist on staff, and she not only has confirmed the studies that prove that CBD, which is one of the main ingredients, decreases anxiety and, helps with the negative effects of having too much THC. She also helped us put in a bunch of other ingredients that help with it as well. A lot of people are talking about CBD, cannabidiol. It's one of the ingredients of cannabis, but also industrial hemp, which makes it perfectly legal. You'll hear Dr. Sanjay Gupta and other people talking about it, but if you go to your Whole Foods store, you can buy hemp lotion and hemp seeds and all of that. So that's what we use as our main ingredient.
Now, what makes the product different or unique from other products that may be out there?
That's a good question. CBD, again, they've found that it helps with pain and inflammation and all of these things, but nobody's really talking about it as sort of an antidote. The CBD that's on the market right now sometimes comes from China. It's sometimes what I call the green sludge. It's not the highest quality that you can get. And because I made this product, for myself, I've used the best ingredients that we can find. We use CO2 extracted gold CBD from a company called Cannabis in San Diego. And so we are the first to market a product as a cannabis antidote. And when, we leverage the 5-hour energy shot form factor so that it's easy to carry around and it works really fast for anxiety relief.
Yeah, that is actually one thing that caught my eye, and that is when I first saw the product online, at first I thought it was some kind of 5-hour energy because it's in an identically shaped type bottle, and then I started looking at the web page and going, oh, wow, this is a really interesting product. This is a really good idea. Went to your web page, saw images of 4 different types of possible users, from somebody who is brand new, somebody who's intermediate, somebody that's a very experienced user, and then what I found the most interesting was you have a picture of an older woman who has been diagnosed with cancer, and she's been told that she needs to use a product, like cannabis, to be able to get rid of some of the negative effects. And somebody like that, we know, isn't going to be able to measure stuff out and like you were saying, with these very small exacting amounts. And for somebody like her that's maybe listening, or buyers that know people like this is a godsend for them, because they're not, number one, going to experience the high, and they're not going to have the after effects if they had one.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We've found out through a lot of feedback that we've got, and then again, certainly my personal use, that there's different ways to use this product. It's not only what we call the emergency scenario, where you are in a bad trip. I personally start throwing up. My forehead turns purple. It's terrible. Since I started making Cannaleaf and since I've had it on hand, I have not gotten into the emergency scenario because I take it ahead of time. When I start to feel bad, that's when before I hit the red line, not after. There's another place that you might want to take it, which is initially when you do, smoke or consume something and you feel a little bit anxious. That's a perfect time to take a couple sips or half a bottle. But you're absolutely right that one of the cool, big safety scenarios is for these people that are going to try, cannabis oil in particular. There's one called Rick Simpson oil. It's a very it's 80% THC. It does work. It's been scientifically proven to cure different types of cancer and ailments, etc. But yeah, if you're an older person and you didn't get high when you were younger, you kind of look at this like, what am I going to get into? And if you just eat that oil, you will go on a little trip. And so what we've seen is people actually drink the Cannaleaf before they take their oil, and it's sort of a preemptive strike on getting high because, it is very potent, but it is, it does work. And so, there are different scenarios. Sometimes we call it managing your high or even tuning your high. I've become quite skilled at, tuning a good 4 or 5 hours of my evening. Where I'm inhaling, I'm having a little edibles, I'm having some Cannaleaf, I'm having some pepperoni, whatever it is. I can control this much better than before.
Now, if I'm a buyer listening to this right now, why should I consider buying this from my stores?
Yeah, I think, the main thing, obviously, is that the legal and recreational cannabis markets are booming, and they're going to continue to grow. Full legalization is, going to happen in Canada, very soon, apparently, according to Trudeau. There was $1 billion worth of cannabis sold in Washington State alone last year. So the market is just huge. And, with the recreational stores going out, there's users that are going to get themselves into trouble. And so providing a product that is geared towards safety and has a message of safety, it's all about helping these consumers. This is a useful and needed product that is going to help people. They're spending on average $187 a month on cannabis. And so another, $14 to have some Cannaleaf on hand, I think it's going to be critical. We've gotten a ton of really positive feedback from store owners. One thing that happens is somebody will come in and they'll buy something and they'll leave and they'll go have a really bad experience. And then they'll come back to the store and they'll blame the product, they'll blame the salesperson, they'll blame the store, they'll blame everybody. And then they won't come back. And so it's actually sort of a protection element as well for your consumers of stores.
It's interesting. Now, are you adding or are you planning to add any new lines or products in 2016?
Yeah, Cannaleaf is sort of the flagship, first product. We're going to have a family of products that, there'll be an extra strength version. There'll be one that we're working on that's for the morning. We'll have different form factors. Pocket spray is something that's in production right now. But yeah, you should think about Cannaleaf as the first of a family of products and services from CannaSafety.
Now, are you thinking about having like different strengths or flavors or anything like that?
Yeah, the flavoring stuff's real easy. Very much like, again, the 5-hour energy stuff. We're following that lead. That's a proven model. They sell 1 million of those a day.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So our extra strength version will have 50 milligrams of CBD in it. And that's, again, for a hardcore patient that really has to take a lot. Absolutely, flavoring, design, all that stuff will help us build out the brand and build out a variety of products.
So you were talking earlier that you've heard some good feedback about the product. What kind of testimonials have you actually received back?
Yeah, so we've got people that have bought this, California, Oregon, Michigan, Puerto Rico, Uganda, all over the place. We've had 65 different, people from 65 different countries hit our website in the past couple of weeks. And so we've had hundreds of people literally say, this works better than I expected. I mean, really, in 10 minutes, you start to feel better. Your eyes open up a little bit. You feel like you have a little bit of a warm blanket wrapped around you. Your high doesn't immediately disappear, right? It's not magic like that, but you get your arms back around the experience. Your anxiety goes away. You're able to sort of get yourself back in control. We're creating a visual graph review system so that people can show, exactly what happened over time. How their high increased and when they took Cannaleaf, and then, sort of how it decreased after that. So that'll be a cool feature that we'll put on our website in a couple of weeks.
Now, bearing in mind that people are different shapes, sizes, male, female, they're taking different amounts. Bearing all that in mind, on the average, how long would it take for somebody to actually start feeling the relief? Is it 10 minutes? Is it longer? Does it, what are some of the factors that would affect that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's sort of, your mileage may vary kind of a thing. I weigh more than my wife does, so in theory I need to take more of it. But you have to, in the same way that you have to understand how cannabis affects you, or alcohol, or anything for that matter, you have to do that with Cannaleaf as well. I've got one guy who's actually a grower here in Washington, so he's kind of a hardcore guy. He only needs to drink a quarter of a bottle, and he says it starts hitting him in 5 minutes. It's amazing. For me personally, it's closer to 15 or 20 minutes, and I kind of lie down, my eyes closed, and just sort of get back in control. But definitely by 20 or 30 minutes, you'll go from not wanting to go outside or talk to anybody or anything other than maybe call 911 to, yes, okay, I feel better. Yes, I'll drink the orange juice now. Cancel the 911 call. Yeah, no, don't turn on the TV yet. Yes, we're doing much better here. And it does depend on, what you ate, how much THC you had, if you had any coffee. There's all kinds of factors. You're absolutely right.
So factors all fit. Yeah, they all fit in. Now, is this something that you would say, and I realize you're biased, you're the one that created the product, but is this something that you would say a person that's using a product should use every time, or should it just be maybe used when they think that, or they're starting to have a bad high?
Well, it's a very interesting question. The original design is sort of the safety, I'm having a bad trip, I don't feel good, and I need some help, right? That's the original design. We called it Cannadote, for a little while. Okay. But what we're finding is people are taking this and they actually feel that it makes their high better. It relieves their anxiety. And I've got people that are taking sips of this, every time they smoke. And it's very interesting. My daughters have confirmed that it works for their menstrual cramps. There's so much research that needs to still be done on cannabis and CBD, and there's 111 cannabinoids in cannabis, of which THC is one and CBD is another. They discovered 7 new ones in 2015.
Wow!
So there's a lot of research that still needs to be done, and but for our flagship product, we're definitely leaning toward the safety. The safety aspect of things. I want to help make sure people don't get themselves into trouble, especially with these edibles, which are, they're serious business.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's the year 2021. It's 5 years out from 2016 when we are recording this. Where do you see your products?
Like I said, we're moving fast. We just produced 25,000 bottles down in Dallas at a professional facility that also makes monster drinks. We've signed up distributors in Canada, Puerto Rico, around in the U.S. We're looking for more as we continue to expand. Wholesale stores order directly. We ship anywhere. Like I said, we've got people from other countries coming in, and I expect us to reach the 1 million bottle mark, definitely within 2 years. But 5 years, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Call me at my condo on Maui. Ideally, we'll see. We'll see what happens in 5 years. But
to put that, Tom, that question kind of into some context, how large is the cannabis market now? Because we see the move towards legalization. Here in Connecticut, where I am, we have dispensaries and everything. It's not the same as it is in, say, Washington State. But the move is coming along. So the cannabis market is how big now? And in 5 years, where is it going to be?
Oh yeah, it's billions. The marijuana business factbook, I believe, has got it pegged at $9 billion by 2018. But what keeps happening is they keep breaking their records and increasing increasing the prediction. It is a billion dollar business, and it's growing. And I think that reform is going to happen, legalization is going to happen. The other cool thing is that I don't touch the plant. I don't touch cannabis. I am strictly industrial hemp-based, natural herbal remedy drink that can be sold anywhere. I don't have to worry about the laws and the regulations of growing and any of that stuff. I'm what's called an ancillary product.
Okay, so that means that it's legal in all 50 states.
That's right.
So anybody listening to this in any state you're in, from Florida to Washington, from California to Maine, it's legal. What's the best way that a buyer can contact you to purchase the product? Maybe you want to put out a telephone number they can call you at, the website, etc. What's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, everything happens from www.CannaSafety.com. End users, wholesale buyers, distribution partners all go there to get set up and place orders. We've got very good margins, especially for our distributors. We send our product directly to the stores if they want. And certainly, anyone can contact me directly at tom@CannaSafety.com. And, we are looking for more distribution channels, people that have established relationships with stores, chains, smoke shops, convenience stores, 7-Elevens, Walgreens even, right? This is not just for recreational and medical marijuana dispensaries. This is for everywhere. That's what we're looking to do.
So, with the way it's packaged, looking like a bottle for 5-hour energy, this makes a very good point of purchase or impulse buy product, doesn't it?
It does. It comes in a nice 12-pack case. It's very beautiful. We designed it so that it could live on the shelf in a Walgreens very easily. It's not stoner material or anything like that. It costs about the same price as 1 gram of cannabis. So, the retail price is $14. And we'll work on bringing that down. So I'm not sure how many people will shell that out right at the register, but absolutely that's how we think it's going to look inside a store, right next to all that other stuff.
Got it. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we conclude today?
Really, really happy to be able to work with you. I'm super enthused and excited about the product. It's going along even, like I said, even better than I hoped. Our reach is getting further than we hoped. I've been approached by, folks that work in emergency ER rooms, and they want to have it on hand, and the people at concert events want it in the first aid tent, and, all of these scenarios are coming along, and every single one of them makes perfect sense. And I just say, yep, absolutely. I will send that over right now. So everything's going really, really good, and I appreciate you helping me grow my business.
Hey, you're very welcome. A great product. And folks, you've been listening to Wholesale.fm. I'm Kevin Gallagher. I've been speaking with Tom Lindeman, who is the owner of CannaSafety, the maker of a great new product called Cannaleaf. You can check it out here on Wholesale.fm, where we get over 100,000 buyers per day on the site. Just go to our smoking products category and check his product out there. And Tom, thank you for joining us here on the program.
Thank you, Kevin.
Stay tuned for upcoming interviews with the industry's leading movers and shakers. Wholesale.fm and the Voice of Wholesale talks directly with suppliers, manufacturers, liquidators, show promoters, trendsetters, and more. This is Kevin Gallagher, the Voice of Wholesale.fm. Stay tuned for more great podcasts, and remember to check out our sister site, GetThatWholesale.com, the Internet's largest wholesale directory. You can contact me for more information on how to advertise or for an interview by calling 888-358-7822. Once again, that's 888-358-7822 at extension 707. Thank you.